Hello, everyone. Happy December to remember. Today is December the 1st, 2024. And I wanted to pop in and give you all a really quick, encouraging word. Um, Something that has encouraged me a lot lately and given me some really practical focus. So there's a movie that many of you have seen. It came out in the early 2000s called Facing the Giants. And I remember maybe a few years after that movie had come out is when I saw it for the first time. And I remember when it was that I saw it and how long ago it was because I rented it from Blockbuster. That's how long ago it was. And I remember which Blockbuster, which city I was in, all of the things. But it's one of those movies that I watched a lot, like for maybe like a year's time, because at the time that I discovered the movie, I was actually walking through, a difficult season, and that was many years ago, like I said, early 2000s. And I recently came across the movie again on YouTube. And so I would have it playing like in the background as I do things around the house. And there's a particular scene where the assistant coach is coaching the young man who used to be a soccer player, but now he was a kicker on the football team. And he was, trying to help him kick the ball straight through the goal. And there's a scene where he says, "You keep kicking the ball wide left and wide right. But that's not what's going to get you home." And so he started giving him an example, from the Bible, just saying, because the Bible says straight is the gate and narrow is the way. So you need to take the narrow way and kick the ball straight, not wide left or wide right. If you've seen the movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you haven't, I think it's free on YouTube. I have premium, so I don't really know if it's free for everyone or if it's just free for me because I pay for it. But anyway, when I was listening to it today, washing dishes, just around the house doing stuff, I thought about how oftentimes at this time of year, we tend to either quit like 100% on like trying to reach our goals, the things that we set out to do at the beginning of the year. If we feel like things have not gone the way we wanted them to go, sometimes we just like downright quit and just be like, you know what? First of all, let me set some new goals and I'll try again next year. Or, well, I didn't make it this year. I'm just going to scrap December and I'm going to try it again next year. Or other people kick into high gear and try to make it all happen, everything that hadn't happened yet. Like we gonna make this thing happen in the last month of the year. And I would like to compare that for I would like to compare that with the example of kicking the ball wide left and wide right. We can use that example for not just accomplishing goals, but even for those of us who are walking the Christian walk, those of us who are walking in the way of God. Oftentimes, we may find ourselves in one extreme or the other. Wide left being just completely wilding out, just not living a consecrated life at all, falling into sin, just living however, no devotional time, no time in the Word, just not on the straight and narrow way at all, yet still believing in God. Or we may find ourselves wide right, being very strategic, very strict, very on point, maybe doing a whole lot of extreme fasting, a whole lot of extreme praying, a whole lot of all of the things as far as works go, as far as, the things that we can do. as believers to hear God and to see God's hand in our lives. We oftentimes find ourselves all the way wide left, just completely giving up, not even trying no more, face out the window, all kinds of just allowing doubt and fear and unbelief to take root and create a particular life that is not what we set out to live. Or we find ourselves all the way wide right, trying to do everything right, and still wondering, like, why aren't certain things happening for me? I must not be good enough. Let me see what else I can do to convince God that I'm good enough. But I submit to you today, whether it is in your walk with God, which is foundational, the most important thing of all, or whether it is in your goals and endeavors, things that you want to accomplish, things that even you believe God placed in your heart to accomplish, things that you deeply desire to do, things that you believe you should do, everything from your ambitions to taking care of yourself. It could be, losing weight. It could be managing finances, buying an investment property, whatever are the things that you know that they're gonna happen, and there's a part that you have to play in it happening, or whether it is your walk with God. You know that God has called you, to Himself, and there is a level of consecration that you need to exist in. I encourage you today, and this may not be for everyone, because there are some people who, in this moment, you are wide right, because you're on a mission that God has sent you on, and you need to be doing extreme fasting and so forth and so on. I've been in seasons like that myself. I don't believe I've seen the last of those seasons in my life. There are times where I believe God calls us to do things that other people might feel like that's extreme. You don't have to do that. You got to know where God has you. But I do believe sometimes in either being disappointed or just being frantic, trying to make certain things happen. This time of year especially can be a time where we find ourselves going wide left, just falling off in despair, no more hope, so much disappointment, or wide right, trying to do so many of the works, trying to cram it all in at the last minute. I want to encourage you today. Of course, follow God and His leading. If you are in fellowship with Him, then He can speak to you about what you should do. But I want to encourage many of you, and I would say for myself too, many of us, this is not a moment to go wide left or wide right in the spirit or in the natural. This is a time to stay balanced. This is a time to stay focused. This is the time to simply do what you say you are going to do every day. Seek God about what it is that you need to do moment by moment, step by step, day by day. Make those commitments. Honor them. Call on God for help. Call in your lifelines. Call on support. Lean into your community. And lean into your fellowship with the Lord. And go straight down the middle. Stay straight. Don't go wide left with despair and hopelessness, and don't go wide right trying to be so extreme that you make yourself sick, and then you mad at God because He didn't tell you to do all of that. That kind of thing. That is what I mean. Now, if you're in a time, again, of consecration, and what you're doing I feel is extreme because God didn't call me to do it in this moment, I'm not calling you off your post. You stay on the wall. But if you're someone who you about to lose your way in December because stuff not looking how you want it to look, my encouragement to you is stay straight down the middle, fellowship with God daily, seek Him daily, ask Him for guidance, support, and power. Do what you say you're going to do every day in the month of December. All right, make it a December to remember.